morning and welcome to my kitchen and homestead in the woods. I am Catherine and it's going to be a very busy day, but it is also very cold. I don't know if you can see through the window here. It's very, very windy. We had rain last night and it's only 57 degrees, but that wind makes it really, really cold. And so we pretty much need a stick to your ribs breakfast this morning, especially since my husband's going to be working outside on a project. So on the menu this morning is going to be biscuits and gravy, homemade, delicious, but very, very fast to make. So even on a school day, if you have kids, or a work day where you need to get out the door, this can be made very, very quickly. And it's very delicious, it's warming, and the leftovers are really, really good too. So I'm gonna get this breakfast going and we're gonna add some applesauce, homemade applesauce to go with it. And so let's get that done because we got a lot of stuff to do today. The ingredients that I'm going to use for the sausage gravy is sausage. This is 1 pound, but I'm only going to use half of it because there's just 2 of us this morning. And let's see, and just a little bit of flour and some milk, salt and pepper, of course. And then the biscuits are going to require some self-rising flour and some heavy whipping cream. And of course, to go with it, we've got our homemade applesauce. So I'm gonna start cooking and breakfast will be ready very soon. Okay, I've got 1.5 cups of self-rising flour in my bowl. And this is just a 2-ingredient biscuit, which makes it very fast, very easy to do. And this is the heavy whipping cream. Now, I don't really measure. I'm one of those cooks that just kind of gets in there and does. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of heavy cream in there and I'm just going to start mixing it up until it is the right consistency for biscuits. Pretty easy. I have my oven preheating to 400 degrees. Getting close, but not there yet. We want to be careful at this point to not put in too much more of the heavy cream. No, we need more than that. After you've been cooking for a while, you'll kind of get the feel for how things should look. And you'll probably just be cooking by your eye and your experience and knowing how to do this. Let me get the spatula in here. It's getting pretty thick. With just 2 ingredients to make these biscuits, there's just no reason to be buying those tasteless things from the grocery store that have a lot of extra ingredients and trans fats and who knows what else in them that you really don't want in your food. So this is about ready. You can kind of see it's trying to hold its shape there. All right, we'll move on to rolling it out. Get these sides all scraped. Okay, here is my board where I'm going to be rolling them out and cutting them. Now, I don't know what happened to my cookie cutter, so I'm just going to use a water glass to cut the biscuits out. And onto the board it goes. Just a little of that flour on your hands. And just kind of spread it around. And start flattening it out. I'm going to make this about 3/4 of an inch thick. I put a little bit of parchment. This is a non-stick pan. It's only going to make, I don't know, 6 to 8 biscuits. But I put a little parchment on here. It is a nonstick pan, but over the years it seems to have lost its nonstick properties. So anyway, I got a little parchment in here. I'm going to use my glass, and I'm just going to press down. I don't want to do that twisting motion because that has a tendency to cause the biscuits to seal on the edges, and so they don't rise as high. So I'm just kind of pushing it in. Sometimes you kind of have to coax the biscuits out of the glass, at least the first couple of them. Okay. And I'll be rolling this dough back out after I've made as many biscuits as I can. That's okay, doesn't hurt anything. Oh, this one's being hard to get. Yeah, kind of got a little out of shape. That's okay. I really do need to replace my biscuit cutter because I do not know where it went. And we'll get another one. You'll feel a little resistance when you use a water glass, but that's all right. We'll get it done. It is easier when you have a biscuit cutter, that's for sure. All right, I'm just gonna kind of re-roll this, get a couple more. We've got 4 so far. Should probably get a little flour on this glass. Should have done that to begin with. Get a couple more here. And one more ugly biscuit. We'll just find a little room for it on the pan. There, move things around a little bit. Make room for our ugly biscuit. Okay, that is it. There you go. We've got 7 and into the oven. It's already preheated to 400 degrees. All right, I'm going to turn on the pan to about a medium heat, and I'm going to add in half of that Jimmy Dean sausage. And I will be back in a minute when this has cooked through, and then we're going to be adding the flour and the milk. All right, this is about done. While this was cooking, I set the breakfast table and kind of tidied up a little bit, served up the applesauce in bowls, so we're ready to add the flour. Again, this is just regular flour. It is not the self-rising flour. It probably would be fine, that's all you have, but it really probably don't want that in your gravy mix. So this is about 1.5 tablespoons of flour. I think that's probably going to be enough. I can add a little bit more if need be. So I'm going to let that cook for just a little minute. Just start to brown the flour a wee bit. You know what? I'm going to put just a little bit more flour in there. I like the gravy to be nice and thick. There you go. We're going to let that cook just for a minute, and then we're going to start adding in our milk. We just want to cook that flour a little bit so we don't get a raw flour taste in our gravy. That is never good. All right, I'm going to start in with the milk. Let me get that salt and pepper close by. I always add a little bit more salt and pepper. We like a nice peppery sausage. You put however much salt and pepper you like. All right, that's an empty milk carton. Make sure you scrape kind of the bottom and get the little bits from the bottom of the pan. That's how we're doing so far. When you can see that it's starting to thicken up nicely, then start with some more milk, and we'll do that now. So I never grew up eating biscuits with sausage gravy. It was just something that wasn't made in my house as a kid. So it wasn't until I moved to southern Indiana, where it's very popular, that I actually got my first biscuits with sausage gravy. And I have to wonder, oh, where has this wonderful stuff been all my life? It is so delicious. It sticks to your ribs. I mean, I just don't understand anybody that doesn't like biscuits with sausage gravy. I checked on the biscuits in the oven and they're rising beautifully. Adding a little bit more milk, and then I'm going to actually raise the temperature on this pan a little bit. Just a tad. Okay. And we'll start in adding my pepper. Again, we like a lot of pepper. And I know there's sausage in here, but it's not, Jimmy Dean's sausage is not particularly salty. So, you know what? I'm going to put some in my hand so I can see how much I'm getting here. Jimmy Dean's is not a particularly salty sausage, so this dish does, if your diet can't allow it, does require a bit of additional salt. I'm gonna go ahead and let this cook for a few. Look at the biscuits again, make sure they're not getting too brown, but they were rising nicely. All right, it's nice and thick and bubbly, looks perfect. I'm just gonna leave it on for a moment to just kind of finish up, but I am gonna turn the heat way down. I think at this point I want to do a taste test, see if I need to adjust the seasonings at all. Okay, I think it's perfect as is. It's time to get the biscuits out of the oven, so I will do that. Biscuits are gorgeous, so I'll just put them aside for a moment, and we're going to turn the heat off under the sausage, and breakfast is ready. Good to go. All right, time to split the biscuits. We mostly just get one biscuit with some sausage gravy, and then anyone else who is a little bit more hungry can then come and get some more. Looks delish. All right, there is breakfast. Get that where you can see it. There you go. And we're going to have our breakfast and get on with our day. Thank you for viewing. And if you enjoyed this, please hit the like button. And if you have not already subscribed, please do so. And I'll see you on the next video.